What's the worst mistake people don't realize they're making in their 20s? Don't pick up smoking. I am 41 and still smoke. I hate it and am terribly addicted to cigarettes. Biggest mistake of my life was starting at 15. I used Chantix to quit last February. I'm 39 and started when I was 15. Was up to 2 packs a day at one point. It's amazing how much difference a year smoke-free makes. Do you just go to your GP and ask for it? What does it feel like? Yeah. I went to my doctor and told him I was finally ready to quit and that I'd had friends who'd used it. He sent the prescription to my pharmacy and I picked up the starter kit that afternoon. Didn't even have to pay for it because my insurance wanted me to quit more than I did. The starter kit is a fold-out pack that lasts a month. The first week is all half doses and you keep smoking while you take it. Then, when you start the second week, you just don't smoke. I didn't have any cravings at all. I was worried because I'd worked cigarettes into my routine so much. I'd smoke after meals, whenever I drove somewhere, after sex, before bed, mid-DVD smoke breaks, and anxiety smoke breaks. What really blew me away immediately was how much extra time I had. I became way more productive. A few months later, I added walking to my exercise routine. At first, I get winded really quickly and topped out at 2.5 miles at about 18 minutes a mile. Now, I do 4 miles, jogging about a third of the time, averaging 13 minutes a mile, and my breathing is so much better. I don't wheeze. I don't cough stuff up anymore. I generally feel healthier. Pills aren't for everyone though. My dad quit 25 years ago with hypnosis. A friend of mine quit 2 years ago by gradually stepping down his daily total smokes and replacing cigarettes with other stuff like sunflower seeds and gum. My sister has a friend that took Chantix and it altered his mood for a while, but apparently, that's pretty rare. I worked for me though, and quitting was one of the best choices I ever made. Life is not a race. It doesn't matter who's getting married, who's moved out from parents' house, who has a kid. You go at your pace. Don't think you're behind anyone else. I needed to hear this, thank you. The older I get, the more I actually pity people who fall into the rat race. Plus, keeping up with the Joneses mentality, to be honest, I just can't relate at all. As I know a decent portion of them do the 9-to-5, wife/husband/kids and white picket fence because they feel that's what they should do as opposed to what they actually want to do with their lives. Add in pressure from society and or parents in some cultures and you're almost left without a choice. That's where a lot of midlife crises are born. I needed this. All my cousins and siblings have good jobs and careers and their own families except me. I failed university 2 times and I'm hoping to start again this September. Savings, 401k, whatever, just invest for yourself. I told my wife to sign up for when she started her first job since immigrating. It's been 6 years and she's got a nice little wad of money socked away. She's been telling her co-workers for the past 5 of those 6 years that they should sign up, because the employer matches free money. Plus it earns more by compounded growth. They all say they don't want to. She shrugs and says okay. Genuinely blown away by how many people reject free money from 401k matching. Like, I'm pretty sure you could literally just pay the penalty and withdraw your contribution and the employer match immediately and still come out ahead. For those people who don't care about investing for the future. My answer was investing in a 401k, especially if your employer matches. I wish I did this in my early 20s. I have coworkers that are in their late 60s and only started in the last 10 years and do not have much. That's also the reason they won't retire, or feel they can't. I'm so freaking grateful that someone from accounting actually approached me at 23 when I became eligible for our 401k plan, with employer match. She said I wouldn't get 100% of the match unless I stayed at the company for at least 3 years, and I shrugged and said, I don't plan to stay that long. So I'll pass on the 401k. She looked me dead in the eye and said, do it. Don't be an idiot. And here I am now, 10+ years at this company with a little nest egg built up because she went out of her way to help me out. This comes under looking after your body, I suppose, but it's a specific one that is still little known, wrecking your ears with excessive noise exposure. Even if you don't care about losing your hearing, you don't want catastrophic tinnitus. It's completely disabling. And nobody tells you that you can get it years or decades after the noise exposure. I just thought, I'll knock this off before it gets too bad. Edit. Woke up to piles up upvotes. Cheers. I'll probably never get a chance to write something about tinnitus which this many people will read again, so fui you. Tinnitus is very common, everybody knows someone who has it to some degree, but it can range from a nuisance to a disability, and assuming that we understand someone else's situation can be like believing we understand severe chronic pain after stubbing a toe. Most people's tinnitus won't become disabling. Some people are profoundly deaf and have no problem with tinnitus. Others are crippled by tinnitus and have relatively normal hearing. Noise exposure is only one of many ways you can acquire tinnitus. I believe it was the root of my tinnitus, but it can't explain it completely. But I do believe if I hadn't blasted myself with noise in my 20s I would not have this disability today, or it would have remained much milder. I'm reminded of that TV ad Yul Brynner recorded shortly before his death. His words, "Whatever you do, just don't smoke," have been stuck in my head for decades. Just turn down the volume. The level of sounds we subject ourselves to for recreation did not exist a few hundred years ago, unless we were standing beside an erupting volcano. Our ears are not designed for it. Yes, I was a DJ at a nightclub in my 20s. My ears are ringing now and will forever. It's maddening. I advise you to listen to Good Weather for an Airstrike. British guy who suffers from tinnitus, so he made music that it's at the opposite wavelength of the tinnitus noise. When I went to concerts and came back destroyed, their records really helped me relax the ears. What do you mean by opposite wavelength? Edit. For those who want to know the answer but not scroll endlessly, we figured out that our parent comment probably meant the opposite waveform, resulting in active noise cancelling. However, the reason it works is a psychological one. Tinnitus is not a real sound, there's no vibration that creates the sound wave. It's like a hallucination, a representation of a sound that does not exist. My guess is like active noise cancellation work. As someone who listened to not only tons of loud music growing up, but also playing multiple instruments and being in a band, both fairly loud, I'm pretty sure my fate's already sealed. That's probably true, but keep in mind that you can still make it worse. Oddly motivational sentence. Initially my ear ringing bothered me, but I've actually gotten used to it over the years. Sometimes I wish I could have total silence again, though. Just to remember what it's like. I think my ears are ringing as long as I can remember, I only hear it when it's silent though. Actually just lately, I realized that this probably isn't normal. Exact same situation here. I don't even know if this is possible, but I'm convinced I was born with tinnitus. Ever since I've been a little kid, I can hear ringing in my ears when I'm in a quiet environment. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I suddenly discovered that this isn't normal and other people hear nothing when in a quiet environment. The noises have always been there for me, it didn't get triggered by going to a loud concert or anything like that. I've had this my entire life. So you are telling me it is not normal? Same here thinking back, never been to any concerts of any type, only a couple parties that had super loud music, but I've had tinnitus as long as I remember. Yes. Earplugs were my best investment, as an avid concertgoer. More people should know there are special earplugs for listening to music. With decent quality plugs, you can hear a loud concert with much more clarity. Tanning without sunscreen. That catches up with you when you least expect it. Not using sunscreen and being careless with my skin is one of my biggest regrets at 32. I smoked cigarettes, drank heavily, ate like crap, and didn't use sunscreen. In your 20s, you just bounce back with hardly any physical consequences and you feel like you're going to be young forever. All of a sudden, I woke up one day with wrinkles and skin damage that I can't reverse and is only going to get worse from here on out. I am still having a hard time accepting it, and it causes a lot of depression and regret in my current life when I look at myself in the mirror. I feel this. I'm a 30-year-old dude and have always tanned well and never burned, so I never thought of using sunscreen. I also spent most of my 20s drinking heavily and smoking, and like you said, just woke up one day thinking I was just tired and that my face would look better when I got more rest, but it's been a couple years and it's just getting worse. I'm also pretty upset that I was so careless with my body and health. I'm not aging well at this point. It's not too late to work on getting body in decent condition. Okay, you effed up, let it go and try improving yourself. Yeah, I eat healthier and work out now and use moisturizers in the morning and at night, but I'm just sad I didn't do this stuff when I was younger. I get there is no use in fretting, but seeing myself age so quickly has been alarming for sure. Hey! There might be some ways you can reverse some of the visible damage and or at least stop it from getting worse. If you haven't yet, check out our /Skincare Addiction. They have some really great information that you might be able to benefit from. There won't be any miracle cures, but there are a lot of affordable products that can definitely help. Reddit link. I think mistreating your skin overall though. I think that emphasis on skin health should be a bigger topic of conversation. Everyone talks about exercise and brushing your teeth, but nobody talks about sunscreen use, hydrating and nourishing your skin, etc. For a while I thought that getting a bunch of creams for my face was too feminine and wasn't necessary, but with college and just overall stress I started to see my skin look more tired and worn out and dull. So I decided to try out a Korean skincare routine, and I will never go back to not taking care of my face or skin in general. Edit. This blew up a lot more than I was expecting, considering I didn't think anyone would see it. For everyone asking about the routine I use, here's the website I got a lot of my info from, but I also urge you to watch some videos and read around. I'm also happy to answer any PMs if anyone has specific questions. Web link. Wearing sunscreen to prevent skin cancer and skin degradation is on par with not smoking in order to protect my lungs. The skin is such an overlooked organ despite it being the largest one we have. Edit. I've made some recommendations in other responses on my preferred sunscreens. Yes, I wear sunscreen every day, even in winter. You probably need to apply more than you think. Check out South Korean and Japanese brands for more elegant textures. I like Biore Aqua Rich Watery Essence and Misha Sun Gel, both are SPF 50+++, no white cast, absorb quickly. I care about your skin and want you to consider caring about it as much as I do. I 100% agree. I think the reason sunscreen is overlooked, and this is from my old mentality and the mentality of some of my friends, is because putting sunscreen on isn't necessary if you don't burn easily. Thankfully, I've grown out of that attitude and I make sure to use sunscreen, and even one of my facial lotions is SPF 15. Not saving enough money. Pay yourself first. Don't work the rest of your life. Don't save what's left after spending, spend what's left after saving. That sounds very Ben Franklin-ish. Please don't laugh if it is him. I didn't bother to look it up. Warren Buffett, I believe. I prefer Asian buffet, thanks. This is the point in the thread where you realize all the advice contradicts itself. Go on that trip. Versus save that money. I think a lot of people forget that you have to have money to save money, and you have to save money to go on a trip. None of which I had until late into my 20s. Not eating right and exercising. The heart attack you have at 50 doesn't just magically show up. Cardiovascular disease is from years of buildup. While that is certainly true, and starting with this as early as possible is the absolute best, don't let it discourage you from starting at any time. Until I was in my early 40s I had never run more than 2K at a stretch, was desperately out of shape, overweight, and just felt really prematurely old. I started running, cycling, and eating somewhat better when I was about 43. I honestly feel healthier, younger, and am definitely way fitter than when I was in my 20s. I also lost that excess weight and just have lots more energy now. A couple of months ago I ran my first marathon, at age 56. The funny thing is, I hate running. I've been doing it for over a decade now, but I've never enjoyed it. Not for a single minute. But I know what it does to me, which keeps me going. I absolutely agree. There is an old saying, probably a Chinese one, I'm not sure, that the best moment for planting a tree was 20 years ago, the second best moment is right now. My mum also started running at the age of 54 for the first time in her life after a cancer and a crapton of medical issues. Now she's turning 60 and has ran quite a good number of half marathons and has never felt healthier. Running a marathon is a huge achievement at any age, let alone in your 50s. Keep on going, dude. Yep. I'll never forget all my relatives in their 40s with bellies telling me I was lucky because at your age you can eat whatever you want and not gain weight. Half of them have had bypass surgeries. I stuck to a healthy diet despite their bad advice. Now at almost 40, my cholesterol was about 110 last time I got it checked, LDL was 55. The sad diet will kill you. What's sad mean? Standard American diet, I believe. Not getting enough sleep or not having a good sleep schedule. I don't think I've had a consistent or good sleep schedule for most of my life. If and when you can, because money and insurance, get a sleep study. I had terrible sleep patterns through my 20s, did all the tricks you see online. Got a sleep study in my 30s and found 2 undiagnosed sleep disorders. It's a whole new world. You'll never be able to sort those things out on your own. Sleep makes all the difference. Wait, sleep disorder is a thing. According to my mother, it's because I'm not making enough effort. No, but seriously, it's also important to note that it's normal for teens to have a sleep schedule that is a bit later than adults are. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't have a sleep schedule at all. Credit and debt, it's too easy to buy things you can't afford. Not saving enough money, learning it too late in life. Want to know something? I have the opposite problem. I don't spend enough. This means that I go work home, and have no real social life. Never dated, never been to a concert, never traveled. Everyone else my age is out there living in their primes, and I haven't moved because I don't spend money. Sounds like a solvable problem. Just budget some money to waste every month/year. I wish I understood this in my 20s. I was very careless with money. Sticking to a career, they hate because that's what they chose to do when they were 16 to 18 years old. It's never too late to change your career path, and if you're not enjoying it now, do you think that will change in another 20 to 30 years? But what are you supposed to do when you have a business degree and have only been teaching English in Japan and you're almost 30? The degree is worthless now. I was in exactly that scenario 5 years ago. I got a master's in teaching. There are transferable skills you'll have from teaching in Japan. Hey, 33 and just enrolled into university, college. Husband is super supportive, finally found a career I would like. Never too late. I'll have my new career by the time I'm 37. Still a lot of work life to go. 32-year-old just finishing my first year. I'm with you. As a 27-year-old who dropped/flunked out of 2 different colleges, thank you. This gives me a ton of hope for my future. I've been doing landscaping for years now and really want to change that. COVID-19 wrecked me and I'm working on getting on my feet again, but one of my long-term goals, 1 to 5 years, is to go back to school and learn something I'm interested in and can give me a career, not just a job. Good luck with your schooling. I went back at 33, graduated at 38. It was tough but so worth it. You got this. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.